It's time for my 10 before the end. Hello and welcome to another bookish video from me, Johanna, me, my dog and books. I've seen a few people do these videos, and so I thought I would share 10 books that I'd love to try and get read by the end of the year. I realise that doesn't give me long. What this list doesn't include is books that I'm going to be reading at Christmas, so Christmassy books, or my book club books, or any of the ones that I've maybe got proofs or night galleries of. So I realise already this is a little optimistic, but hey, I like to aim high. And I've went through some of my shelves, both upstairs and downstairs, to go through some of the books that I would love, well, some 10 to be exact, books that I would love to read before the 1st of January 2026, which is crazily careering towards us. First up, and this is in no particular order, just the pile that I've got them in, is the Saturday Night Ghost Club. Now, I bought this last year, or did I get it this year? And it says, an irresistible coming-of-age story about a group of misfits who spend an unforgettable summer investigating local ghost stories and urban legends. I think it's supposed to be like a mix of childhood sort of coming-of-age trauma, as well as the stuff that haunts you as you get older. But also, mostly, I got this because of the cover and the title. Who doesn't do that? Tell me now. This one I need to read because my friend gave me it last year and I still haven't read it. And to be honest, I hate being that person that borrows books from people and doesn't return them. She is one of my best friends and knows I still have it, but keeps raving about it, and it's not normally my genre, and I think that's what stopped me from reading it. It's Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. I've only heard good things about it. It's not that long, and it says it was, oh no, it was the Women's Prize for Fiction winner of 2021, so I'm very late to the party, as always. And you know, I looked at it and go, oh, it looks kind of like Greek mythology, and it's not really my thing. But it says Piranesi lives in a house, perhaps. I should maybe try reading with my varifocals on. I keep taking them off because sometimes I'll wear my... Anyway, don't need to know. It says, Piranesi lives in the house, perhaps he always has. Then messages begin to appear, scratched out in chalk on the pavements. There is someone new in the house, but who are they and what do they want? Lost texts must be found, secrets must be uncovered. The world that Piranesi thought he knew is becoming strange and dangerous. The beauty of the house is immeasurable, its kindness infinite. So I'm reading that, and I still have zero idea what it's about. I mean, is it historical fiction or is it fantasy? I have literally no idea. I mean, it is blurbed by, you know, quite big author names. It says exquisite, quite extraordinary, spellbinding. I mean, I do love the cover. If you've read it, let me know, because I kind of have the fear, but I know so many people like it. And that also then gives me the fear. So yeah, want to read that. This one I picked up last year from Categories Books, which is a queer bookstore in Glasgow. Part of it was the cover and the title. Another part was because the author has my first name, and I rarely see that. Apart from Heidi, that's another one. It's My Darling Dreadful Thing, and it's blurred by Clay McLeod Chapman, who is a horror writer I really like. He says, my darling dreadful thing summons a stunning new literary voice to be reckoned with. So it says, I won't read the whole blurb, okay, so don't worry, but it says, if the dead cannot wake and walk among us, how can we know what is really real? Poor, alone, and with a history of hysterics, Rose is the obvious culprit. I'm actually not really sure what it's about. I mean, if I read the first paragraph, it says, Rose, R-O-O-S, Rose, is that how you say that? Has a spirit companion only she can see, Ruth Strange. Right, only she can... Sorry, only she can see, Ruth. Strange, corpse-like and dead for the centuries. Is the light of Rue's life. That is until the wealthy young widow Agnes Nope visits one of Rue's backroom seances and the two strike up a connection. Why do I want to read this again? I mean, it sounds really intriguing, but I genuinely don't know, because I've never read this author before. But something is compelling me towards it. Compelling me, or is that compelling me. Oh my goodness. Anyway, let me know if you've read any of these so far, and any of them that are coming up. The next is a Liz Nugent, and this, I want to read this because I have this and another Liz Nugent, because I read either last year or the year before Strange Sally Diamond and adored it. A phenomenal book. I loved the writing. I was like, I need to read more of Liz Nugent's books, but I didn't. I have bought some more of Liz Nugent's books, but I haven't read one. This seems quite small as well, and it's called Unravelling Oliver. I believe it's a crime novel, and it says, I mean, the first sentence in the synopsis gets me. I expected more of a reaction the first time I hit her. I can just feel the female rage boiling. Alice and Oliver Ryan seem blessed, both in their happy marriage and their successful working partnership. Their shared life is one of enviable privilege. Well, we know that's all red flags then. And enviable until one evening after supper, Oliver attacks Alice and puts her in a coma. I don't want to know what else happens other than sounds amazing. If you've read this one, let me know as well. Right, I had this on my spooky TBR, so hurry up, Johanna, read it, because you have the second one, and then there's another one coming out next year, so get with it. I think it's like a Japanese cult phenomenon. There's a range of strange pictures and clues to be solved. I'm going to read this bit for you because it's actually quite short. A series of drawings made by a young woman before her death. A child's disturbing pictures of his home. A desperate sketch made by a murder victim in his final moments. Each contains a chilling warning. Each reveals a terrible secret hidden in plain sight. Hurry up, Johanna, and read it, because everyone keeps telling you it's amazing. Now, this is a library book that I've had out since... oh my, it's been due back since June. I have kept renewing it, to be fair, but I have Mark Edwards on this TBR for the end of the year because both Michaela and Carly love Mark Edwards, or is it just, one of them does, and has raved about a lot of their books. I think it might be Michaela. Sorry, I'm trying to sit cross-legged in a swirly chair and it's not really working. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, so, and I've never read a Mark Edwards, and I found this one in the charity shop. It kind of looked creepy. It actually looks quite wintry. That might be a good one for. And it was called The Retreat, and it says, a missing child, a desperate mother, and a house full of secrets. A house full of secrets. 2 years ago, Julia lost her family in a tragic accident. Her husband drowned trying to save their daughter Lily in the twist in the river near their rural home. But the little girl's body was never found, and Julia believes Lily is somehow still alive. Don't want to read any more because that sounds really good. Also, I think it might be short chapters, and I gotta love myself a short chapter, to be fair. Now, the next four are ones I've bought or received, no, mostly bought as hardbacks. Maybe one of them is the only one still in hardback. And on that basis, this is why if I've still got books, plenty of, which are coming out in hardback, that I got in hardback and are now out in paperback, it just reinforces my problems here. My bookworm problems, right? The first one I got last, honestly, I keep swirling around, sorry. This is non-fiction. It's called Feeding the Monster, Why Horror Has a Hold on Us. So this is non-fiction, and it's actually blurbed by a couple of authors I quite like. Horror is being embraced by the mainstream more than ever before, with horror characters and aesthetics creeping into TV, TikTok trends and all the likes. However, right, despite that mainstreaming, loving horror often prompts the following question: what is wrong with you? Which is something people And especially, I don't know what people who read horror are supposed to look like, but apparently it surprises people when I tell them how much I love reading horror and how much I love watching horror movies. I'm still not sure why, and maybe that's because I genuinely don't know. But anyway, in Feeding the Monster, Anna sets out to dispel the notion that there is something not quite with the people who make and enjoy horror. By diving into some of the most significant works of TV and film, including Babadook, Hereditary, Get Out, etc., she charts horror's soaring popularity and examples how the genre both responds to and fuels a feeling of fear, anxiety, pain, hunger and power. And then I should have read the last sentence there. After all, each of us has our own monster to feed. Like, I genuinely find, like, especially, like, I am a very anxious person. I have generalized anxiety disorder, so lots of things make me anxious. And so naturally a lot of people would assume it's like, why do you like horror? Why, like, that is really anxiety inducing. And there's a whole range of reasons why. I might have done a video about this before. Did I? Did I do a TikTok? I can't remember. Maybe I should do another one that tells you about why I love horror and what I think horror can bring to people. Especially if they're like, oh, that's too scary for me. And I'm like, honestly, I think horror can explore the fears that we have in life in a really safe, controlled way. But anyway, that's me surmising what the book might be. And on the same note, right, I have Out There Screaming, which is an anthology of new black horror edited by Jordan Peele. Because all those people are in the book with loads of their own like stories. It's described as a groundbreaking anthology of brand new stories of black horror, exploring not only the terrors of the supernatural, but also the chilling reality of injustice that haunts our world. I mean, look at the cover, right? Actually, don't tell the library, right? Although I do think it helps the library know that people want to read more horror from the library. I got the paperback out from the library so I could read it easier because, you know, carrying hardbacks around is a lot. Now, the next one I got at a recent author event, which was a Mona Awad author event, and this is the sequel to Bunny. Bunny is an unhinged, weird, satirical, feminist portrayal of female friendship can go full toxic, and it's kind of like dark academia. So these group of girls who call themselves Bunny, and the main characters is Sam. I think it is Sam. Sam, the main character, and Bunny is a bit of an outsider. She kind of gets hooked in with bunnies and starts to learn that the bunnies are like making boys, a bit Frankenstein-y, okay? And stuff goes down, right? I loved it. This is the sequel where I think it's a couple of years later after book one, and Sam has decided to write a book about her experience with the bunnies. And she's on a book tour, and the bunnies are pure raging about it because they're like, that is not what happened, that's not the story. So they decide to kidnap her during one of her book tours and hold her captive and decide to tell their side of the story. All of that sounds absolutely wild, and I'm here for it. So I want to read that. And then it reminded me of a book that I think it was an Evernight. Yeah, it's an Evernight edition that I got, right? So I'll show you, it's very pretty. I think the kind of standard cover or UK cover normally looks like this, right? But this is the Evernight edition I got. And obviously in Evernight it's always like super stunning. I mean, look at this. Can we just look at this? Okay, so I've heard amazing things about Bat Eater. So it starts off about telling us that the main character is a crime scene cleaner, right? Cora Zeng is a crime scene cleaner, but the bloody messes don't bother her, not when she's already witnessed the most horrific thing possible, her sister being pushed in front of a train. Hence this front cover. The killer was never caught, and Cora is still haunted by the last words. Bat Eater. I have no idea what that means. Now these days, nobody can get in touch with Cora, like her aunt, family members, close friends. But after a series of unexplained killings in Chinatown, she starts to believe that someone might be targeting East Asian women and something might be targeting Cora herself. Right, I'm kind of still not 100% sure. This sounds fantastical and horrific, but I'm kind of here for it. So that there is the 10 that I overly optimistically want to read in addition to my book club books and my Christmas books and any other book, my ARCs, anything that I have in the mix. So that's probably about 50 books before the end of the year, which is never going to happen, but some of these are definitely, I mean, all of these I want to read. And I'm not going to guilt myself if I don't get to them, but if there's any here that you're like, oh, please read that, I'd love to know your thoughts, then let me know in the comments. Also, if there's any books you definitely want to read before the year is out, let me know in the comments too. I'd love to hear what your end of year reading plans are. And as always, thank you for watching, for liking, and if you don't already, please do subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in another bookish video very, very soon. Cheerio!